first night we were here, Rick and I were laying in bed. I turned to him and I said, "Do you think you could do this?" And he said, "No way." And he looked at me and he said, "Do you think you could do this?" And I said, "No way." So we rolled over and went to bed and kind of thought, we'll just be here for the week and enjoyed the trip, but this isn't for us. But God had different plans.
We never would have said yes to God. We never would have experienced the blessings of see how He would take care of a situation that He wants fulfilled.
I told him you might come back. Yes. He said, you have to meet Moses. But I found in a shaming society like this, it's when you talk with them about the Lord, they can really relate because Jesus took on not only our sin, but our shame. When He took on our shame, it's a whole different concept to them to understand that because they don't want to be shamed. And it's horrible to be shamed. And for someone to take on your shame, they understand that. That's been kind of a good tool actually to use in the society when talking to them about Christ.
Really the main reason we came to Uganda was to work with EMI, Engineering Ministries International. The first job I did when I came to EMI was the Amazima School Project, Phase 1. The Amazima Project is the one that Katie Davis has started. It's in the town called Jinja. Move on to another project for the African Children's Choir. And I started that from the beginning and I'll be finishing it in a few more months. But what we do there is we hired a contractor and he started getting it built and I oversee the contractor. But in the contract, with this contractor, we put in there that we will have an hour a week to do a chapel with the men. So we can share the men the love of God and let the men know that there's somebody who loves them and takes care of them. And so every Friday, we have a chapel on site. All the men look forward to it. They come and bring their chairs. They put the chairs all, when the buildings weren't done, we would meet outside. Now that we have some of the buildings done, we meet inside one of the buildings. I recognize me within me, create me a clean heart, oh God.
Sometimes you feel really inadequate, but every step of the way God shows you what to do, even through our mistakes. We've had some really interesting things happen to us along the way. God's taught us just to rely on Him 100% in everything we do because we know it's not us, it's Him.
Part of it too is the fun is learning a different culture. Why do people do what they do, and what's the reasoning behind all the family ties and the reasons they don't get married or get married or why they work. It's a different mindset, and it's kind of fun to learn that. It also can be a little bit of the difficulties in that culture can be a little bit of irritant. So one of the things that ministry-wise that we've been able to do is to be involved with the guards who oversee and watch over the compound that we live in.
You're going to let them go next year? I think they have not told me, but they call them.
What we did with these gentlemen is that we would love to give you a Bible, but I want to read with you. They said yes, and so the day I handed them the Bible, they said, let's start reading. And when we first started, we were doing it 5 nights a week because they were right outside our door, and the guards were always there. They're there every day of the week, 12 hours a day, one guard for the daytime and one guard for the night.
I think of our guard, Stephen, that sits at the gate. Rick gave him a Bible.
Solar Bible, so it gets charged by the sun, so you never have to charge it, although you can charge it. And it's in Uganda.
Oh, that's cool.
You can listen to the Bible in Uganda. So he listens, and sometimes he reads, try to follow along with it.
He sits there all day long, and he looks for people to talk to about the Bible. And he knows everybody that goes by. And so many times I think, wow, what a boring job to sit there all day. How could you even do that? And just open the gate. But I think he has such an impact on our community around, and God's word has really been real to him.
So they're going to find out what's happening.
Yeah.
We're waiting to find out. He'll have to come. He'll have to come and tell us. Okay. Well, let's go read. We do a chapel every week, right? So we've handed them all Bibles, and some of them bring their Bibles and they read during the week. There are a couple of men that have always come to the top that are very interested in what God is doing in their lives, and we've given them a chance to do some chapels themselves and to stretch themselves and to trust God more and to see what God can do in their lives.
Praying daily about there's so much need here in Uganda. You drive out the door and you see people on the streets begging. You see people who can't afford to have their kids go to school because they have to pay for their kids to go to school, which to them is a lot of money. You constantly run into people who are trying really hard to work. Maybe they sell bananas or whatever. They can never get ahead. They have a lot of need. Yeah, that is good. Sometimes they come to you and they ask you for things. Like we had a mom show up at the gate recently with her daughter who had spinal bifida, and she needed help. And you're confronted daily with these things, and you just pray that God would show you how to use the money you've been given the best way, because you can't help everybody. We're here to not only help spiritually and to tell them about Jesus, but also to help their physical needs. Sometimes it's hard to know what to do in a good way to help them, because you don't want to just give people money in a way that would not benefit them in the long run, but something that they can do. Sometimes help them start a business or help them to be able to get on their feet after a bad sickness or something like that. She's all well. No sickness anymore. She's good. Just praying about that daily has been something we've done.
One of the greatest things is that they're very open to talking about and hearing about God and about what God has done for them. Through Bible studies and through handing out Bibles, we've handed out well over a couple hundred Bibles since we've been here, and they're all very receptive, want to read, want to learn English, want to be able to understand what God is doing in their lives. The chances we have every day, if not multiple times a day, to talk about Christ or to mention His name or to ask people what their relationship with God is very, very welcoming and easy to do, and builds relationships. It's quite an exciting place to be a Christian and see what God can do.